103.5 FM.
Right, it's good to be back again to talk sports on the biggest sporting platform on 103.5 FM, broadcasting live from Bodija in the brown roof city of Ibadan. After the dramatic night yesterday in Paris, we saw the semi-finals of the UEFA Champions League between Paris Saint-Germain and of course Arsenal. We saw beautiful action that went down yesterday, but then it was a good moment for PSG securing that ticket to the finals of the UEFA Champions League. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, on that note, I will start a Thursday edition of Sport Today. My name is Ayomikun Adeniyi. Of course, you can simply call me Purity. I'm not be doing this alone. I got Samuel Aki today in the building this afternoon. Good afternoon to you, Samuel.
Yeah, good afternoon to you, Ayomikun. Glad to be back in the studio after a short break because I was not available yesterday.
Maybe you went to Paris to see that beautiful game.
Yeah, more like it's good to be back in the studio. It's always a pleasure to talk sports in the studio, and of course it's going to be an interesting one this afternoon because we've got quite a number of interesting stories making the round in the exciting world of sports, from the UEFA Champions League. What a night for the Paris Saint-Germain, making it to another final. Of course, the last time they played in the final of UEFA Champions League was 2020 when they lost to Bayern Munich 1-0, and 5 years later they are into another Champions League final. What a season they are having. Luis Enrique has transformed that team. It's quite commendable how he has actually transformed that team massively. We've seen massive transformation from that team. I mean, a team, they were 25th on the table during the group phase. They had to play playoff. And look at them now.
Yeah, we are now. They're in the finals of the Champions League.
It's even also very commendable that on their way to the final, they've knocked out 4 English opposition in this tournament. They defeated Manchester City during the league phase to qualify for the playoff. To qualify for the playoff, 4-2. They knocked out Liverpool in the round of 16. They eliminated Aston Villa in the quarter-final, and they sent Arsenal packing back to London yesterday, and then they booked their tickets in the final. We have all that interesting story. Let's just get started already.
Just like what Samuel said, let's get started. We have quite a number of interesting games coming from the Nigerian Premier Football League. Yesterday, we saw quite a number of interesting games. Here in the beautiful city of Ibadan, we saw the Oluyole Warriors against their South Warriors rival. Talking about Senior Stars of Akure. Which of course they won the game by a lone goal. Right there, action went down in the President Federation Cup, the female category quarterfinals. 4 games went down yesterday. Good one for Nasarawa Amazon. They won against Sunshine Queen 4-0. What a huge defeat for the Akure ladies. Of course, Edo Queens also secured victory yesterday. We take a dive into the camp of the Flying Eagles of Nigeria because yesterday against Kenya they played a 2-2 draw. Samuel, let's start from the home scene.
Yeah, that was. Should we start from the demand for more and demand for better performance because if they really want to meet the target, which is of course to qualify for the World Cup under 20 that will take place in Chile, which of course they need to get to semi-final of this tournament if they want to qualify. And I do not see this team as a team capable of getting the semi-final ticket, because if you are struggling against a side like Kenya lost their first 2 games. They lost to Morocco, they lost to Tunisia. And then you consider 2 goals against Kenya. It was very, very bad performance from the Flying Eagles. They needed to do. All they needed to do yesterday, yesterday was to get a win. If they had won that game, they would have topped the group. And now Morocco defeated Tunisia, and Morocco is, they are the group leader.
Yeah.
So for me, I think Of course, Coach Aliu Zubero will say that he has gotten the job done. He has qualified them for the quarterfinal.
But what about the winning mentality?
What about the performance? Is this sustainable? This performance is not sustainable. When you meet a better side, like maybe
I mean, we saw South Africa the way they are doing their thing after
South
playing
Africa.
3 games. I mean,
even the host nation, Egypt, even someone like Sierra Leone are also high scoring team in this tournament.
They are topping in Group B.
You can imagine
7 points.
So if what can Flying Eagles do when they play against the better side? Because you have proven to us that you cannot, undo the pressure. You cannot play very well. I mean, your performance is very, very questionable. I look at the statistics of that game. Yes, they dominated possession, they created more chances, but their only undoing is always find the back of the net, score more goals. They struggle to score goals against Morocco. It ended goalless. Against Tunisia, they won 1-0, and then they scored 2 yesterday. So they've scored 3 goals in 3 games, and they conceded 2 goals. They've been keeping clean sheets. They kept clean sheets in their first 2 matches against Tunisia and Morocco.
Yeah.
But one, we expect them to actually walked over to Kenya yesterday.
Yeah.
It was meant to be an easy win for them yesterday. I mean, owing to the fact that, given the fact that Kenya had nothing to play for in that game. I mean, even if they won yesterday, they wouldn't have qualified. So it was Nigerians' game to actually lose, and they were supposed to win that game and top the group. But I'm trying to get the statistics of that game just to tell you how terrible their performance was yesterday in terms of putting the ball at the back of net. How about the conversion of these chances? They had 19 shots
and then conceding 2 goals against Kenya.
I mean,
Samuel, sorry, let me just comment, because I saw their first.
They were the only side that have kept clean sheets in their first 2 games. And you see Kenya even got a goal. They scored first in that game. They scored in the 6th minute of that game via penalty. And Nigeria came back in the 13th minute. They equalized
1-1.
Kenya also
scored again
in the second half, 68th minute.
Daniel
Bamaye penalty, to salvage a point for Flying Eagles. It was a terrible performance for them. Maybe they felt so comfortable that, I mean, maybe they underrated Kenya. That I mean, if we can win against Tunisia and if we can avoid defeat against Morocco, who is Kenya that we can? Maybe they felt too comfortable that they were going to have it easy against Kenya. And Kenya played for they play for pride that it is not going to be very good for us to lose all the 3 games in this competition, and then they walk away with a point. But for Flying Eagles, if they really want to compete with the best of the best in this tournament, the likes of Sierra Leone, South Africa, and then even Morocco. If Morocco catch this,
DR Congo, and of course certain Ghana in Group C. Even
Ghana, yes,
very impressive,
very impressive. So I think a lot still needs to be done. Coach Subaru needs to to be proactive in his approach. I mean, attacking wise, they scored 2 goals yesterday, but that was not enough because they considered 2. So if they considered 2 goals and they scored more than 2 goals yesterday, they would have won that game. Or even if they scored 2 goals and they didn't concede, which of course we expected them not, I mean, to even concede a goal against Kenya. But it is what it is. Their quarterfinal the stage is set. Let's hope that they are going to improve with the way they approach the game and get the ticket to the semi-final.
All right, Group B done and dusted. We have Morocco because they won their last game against Tunisia yesterday, 3-1. They are topping the group with 7 points.
Imagine that, 3-1.
Impressive.
We struggled against Tunisia. Definitely. We won by a long goal. So even if you play Morocco again, I'm very sure, I'm very certain that
we might not be lucky. All right. Also, we have Nigeria in Group B with 5 points. Tunisia with 3 points, and of course we have Kenya action. We continue today because Central African Republic will play against Ghana. Senegal. And of course, Senegal will be playing against DR Congo. What a game to watch.
The game against between Central African Republic and against Ghana. I'm really looking forward to seeing that game because I mean Ghana have shown that they are one of the the best teams in this tournament. They have prospects.
They have 4 points. DR Congo 4 points.
You see, the group is very, very tough.
And of course, for Senegal, I think they are 1 point as we speak, and Senegal
have 1 point. Central Africa have 1 point.
Can still qualify.
So DR Congo and Ghana, they have 4 points. Yeah. And then they have not been they've not been very impressive in this tournament. But let's see what happens. It's still very open for any of the sides.
All right, away from the AFCON under 20, now straight to the Nigerian Premier Football League. Yesterday, Maiduguri, we saw Economic Warriors playing against the reigning and the new crown champion, talking about the Remo Stars. And of course, Economic won the game by 2-0. Relegated Lobby Stars of Makurdi lost at home to Nasarawa United by 2-1. Bende defeating Akwa United by a lone goal. And of course, here in the city of Ibadan, Oluyole Warriors won the game against the Akure Gunners 1-0. And Yimba secured victory at home by 2-0. Also in Lagos,
a dead rubber game for them.
Liverpool,
and then you know that they had to travel all the way to Maiduguri. So, and they know that they will be playing Ikorodu City. Their next game will be against Ikorodu City at home, where they will be presented with their medals and trophy. So for me, that was not a big deal, losing away from home when you are already the champion. There's no shame losing away from home when you've already won the title. Also, Atlant FC, they got an important win at home at the Dan Ayam Stadium right in Owerri against Plateau United. Castina FC, it was another big win for them in the Northern Derby against Kano Pillars. So at the Mohammed Diko Stadium right there in Castina, it was very, very interesting. Kano Pillars will now host Shooting Stars in their next game. So Shooting Stars know that they are in for another tough test, because Kano Pillars we want to get back to winning ways. Also, another very important victory was for Rivers United against the last season champions Rangers International at the Adoke Ameki Amaka Stadium right there in Port Harcourt. One goes to them. Just to secure their second position on the log. They needed that. Also, a very important point for Abia Warriors. They picked a point on the road. That was very, very important, because Ikorodu won their game yesterday. So if assuming Abia Warriors did not get a point, that Ikorodu would have equaled the points that Abia Warriors have on the log. So it was a very important, valuable point on the road for them. Enyimba also got a game against Kwara United. For Shooting Stars, in what's supposed to be
a family affairs.
They scored first. Bayelsa come back and equal the tie. But it was very, very good that Ikorodu City finally they had their way and they got the win against Bayelsa United. They are still pushing for the continent, because they are currently fourth on the log with 56 points, just a point separating them and third place team Abia Warriors. Like I said, that points that Abia Warriors picked away at home against Niger Tornado was very, very important for them. It was a valuable point, because their next game will be at home and it's a winnable game for them. If they had lost that game yesterday, they will be on the same point. They will be on the same point with Ikorodu City, and Ikorodu City have a better goal difference. They have 17 goals difference. Abia Warriors have just 3 goals difference. So if they had lost that game, Ikorodu would have been. You just have to admit. Even I spoke with some of Arsenal fans yesterday, and they alluded to the fact that PSG were the better side, not just yesterday, even across over both legs.
The excuse was that Atama Party missed the first leg. Yesterday it was another ball game.
Like I said, PSG was just the better team, regardless of the fact that Party was available yesterday, but it was still the same story. Last week they were given excuses of.
Kudos to Donnarumma.
He was the man of the match. It was different. He won the best player MVP. Oh man, okay, it was Hakimi that won it yesterday. Hakimi won it yesterday, but he won it at the Emirates Stadium. So Donnarumma kept them in that game, because the first 15 minutes of that game was very, very crazy. Arsenal dominated. They were lively. They created so many chances, but their only undoing was unavailability to get the goal. Yes, which has always been their problem. They need a striker. They need a striker.
So
they need a huge presence in the final third. They are very strong at the back. They don't really have vision in the middle of the park. Yesterday, like I said, the midfield battle was keenly contested, but their problem is always the conversion of chances. If Saka is not scoring, who will score for Arsenal? If Merino wasn't scoring, who will score for Arsenal? So that's the problem they had yesterday was a failure to bury those chances that they got early in the game. If they had converted those chances, they could have equaled the tie and then probably take the games to the extra time. Anything can happen. But it was very, very unfortunate for them that they are going trophyless against this season. It's always the same story. Almost. But not quite there. I can tell you for a fact that Mikel Arteta's Arsenal under Mikel Arteta have failed to reach the final of a tournament after reaching semi-final for 8 times since 2020-2021 season. So it means they have played semi-final 8 times. They have been into semi-final of different competition 8 times, and they have failed to make it to the final. So what is wrong with Arsenal? For PSG, good one for them. And you wonder what is working for PSG. They have really improved.
Kylian Mbappe, they have been doing well. They're playing in the finals.
You see, they got better without Kylian Mbappe. I mean, the last time they played in the final was 2020
against Bayern Munich.
They narrowly lost to Bayern Munich. 1-0. They are into the final again, and they will be going all out. They also have quality in that squad, like I said, and I like the fact that they are very young team. They don't depend on individual brilliance. Dembele did not play the first half,
and they were still in charge.
Yes, they were dominating. They were creating chances. Bakola, Desiree Doué would have, They will have scored more goals yesterday. Look at Kwaraskela. Kwaraskela is also young as well.
Meaning,
So
you can imagine what he did yesterday was doing more defending, assisting Mendy.
like I
from
said,
left back.
Ayomikun, when you see a team that is playing as a team, you see that every player is important in that squad.
All right, quickly, let's take stories from the Europa League because action will be going down late Saturday. United, I can see you flying your United Chelsea. They'll be playing against Bilbao. The first leg ended victory for United. They won the game away from home. 3 goals to nothing. And Tottenham Hotspur also be playing away from home today. Chelsea, all they need to do is just, avoid defeat today.
Yeah, for Manchester United, 3 goals to nil on aggregate.
They are in the finals already. Let's no.
No, I disagree. The tie is not concluded yet.
I want to be like coach.
The tie is not over yet. Honestly,
yes,
the tie is not over
definitely.
yet.
This is football.
Anything can happen.
We saw what happened.
You cannot underestimate the power of comeback.
Yes. So just one goal can just
any goal can change the momentum, can change the
then the Williams will not be playing, Williams will not be playing, might not be playing.
It does not matter. We are talking about PSG playing well without their former superstars. Let me quickly say this. For PSG, football is very, very funny. Kylian Mbappe left PSG last summer to Real Madrid, hoping to win his first ever UEFA Champions League in his career. The PSG left and now into the final. Real Madrid that he joined got knocked out by Arsenal in the quarterfinal. The same team that knocked Real Madrid out is the team that PSG knocked out to reach the final. PSG defeated 4 English teams on their way to final. Amazing. Now talking about Manchester United, 3 goals to nil. Like I said, the tie is not over yet. They know that it's still a must win for them. So they should approach this game with the mindset of it's still 50-50. Anything can happen. So they should not underestimate Athletic Bilbao, given the fact that they won 3 goals to nil in the first leg. Anything can happen. Lyon came to United were not going to come back, but it happened. They came back. So anything can happen in this game. Right. So they should just approach this game like it's still an important game. So it's going to be a big night under the floodlight at Old Trafford. For Tottenham, 3 goals to 1. They are going to Norway against Bodo Glimt. Bodo Glimt also where they have played at the Stamford Bridge.
Real Betis.
That's where the attention will be for the UEFA Conference League, because Fiorentina lost the first leg 2 goals to 1 in Spain. Now they will be hosting Antonin, Isco's, Real Betis. I think it's still an open affair. It's still an open tie. 2 goals to 1 is not done yet. Anything can happen in this game, but I think maybe Real Betis will make it to the final.
All right, it's getting more interesting in the world of NBA also, because Boston Celtics lost early hours of today against New York Knicks 90-91, and of course OKC Thunders the one against Denver Nuggets 149-106.
Good one for Oklahoma City Thunder. They came back because they lost the game 1 to Denver Nuggets, and we're saying that I want to see their reaction. They're back to win. But for Boston Celtics, they lost again. Just by a point. 91-90. That was it was very, very
playoff is always
for Golden State Warriors, quite unfortunate that Steve Curry will be out for a week.